Hey, this is Heidi with America's Meanest Cars, and on today's CarCast, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts, we have Whitt.
Yeah, my name is Wyatt Stengel, and I am excited to be here with Heidi.
Are you though?
I mean, the sweaty car might be a little bit of a deterrent.
Florida is definitely a little bit of a heat-inducing thing.
Yeah.
Inside a car, inside a garage.
Yeah, especially during our winter with a beautiful 78 degrees.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad that it's at least winter. I don't think I could do this South World.
Yes.
What are we in today?
We are sitting in my 1974 KE20 Toyota Corolla. It's a turbo two-rotor. It's pretty fun. Doesn't currently run, but a very fun car when it does.
But you've had it running for quite a few events and different things. So.
Yeah. So we actually built the car for Sick Week 2024, and we built the car in about 2 months-ish. I picked it up in July of last year, and then didn't really do anything with it. Decided we're going to put it together for that event. Knocked it out very quickly, did very well, and then tore it down now to fix some rust, and that's currently why we're not running.
Did you know that? Why did you choose rotary?
Actually, funny story. So 2 years ago, I did a burnout in one of our rotary cars with the Boosted Boys, and ever since then, I was just like, you know what? I need to build one of these things. Mm-hmm. They're just different, and thanks to our guys over at Angel Motorsports, we were able to put an engine together really easily. Yeah. And I was actually looking for a Volvo to put it in first, like a Volvo wagon, and I was on my way to go buy it, and the guy messaged me back and said, hey, I'm not going to sell the car. Like, sorry. Like, I'm literally on my way to go get it.
Man.
And I was with my buddy Daniel, and he's like, you know what? I've got the Corolla. Like, I was like, I'll buy it. Let me buy the Corolla, man. So we came up with a price. 2 weeks later, I owned a 74 Corolla and had a rotary being built. And
so that wasn't like the intention wasn't to actually have it wasn't like your dream to put a rotary in the Corolla.
No, not at all. I kind of wanted to build like a grungy drift missile-y looking like Volvo wagon.
Yeah.
And it was going to be so cool. And then, like I said, the guy bailed on me. And Daniel mentioned he had this. I'd never actually seen photos of it, but I knew he had it, and like somebody was building it for him, and it wasn't getting done in as quickly as he'd like. So he's kind of like, it's just sitting there. Why don't you buy it? Do something with it. I'll buy something else. And
how much of this was done?
Nothing drivetrain wise.
Okay.
I got really lucky. The interior was already redone.
Oh, so this was. Yeah. This is really nice.
Right. So
for like some of the other parts that you see that aren't fully done.
Yeah, exactly. So like our missing door cards, stuff like that kind of sucks. But yeah, beautiful interior, pretty much all done. The car was painted, all the body work done. So the majority of it was there. And then all I had to do was really put a drivetrain in it and button up all the odds and ends. So
what's the fastest that you've gone into this?
Allegedly.
Why is allegedly?
Because it wasn't on a Trek.
Oh, allegedly.
Allegedly, it was like 140, and it is a terrifying death trap. It was hilarious, but it was against the Audi R8, and we were pulling on it, so there was no way I was lifting.
Yeah.
And it was a great time. It's a really sketchy car, though. Above like 80, it feels like it wants to wander all over the road. It's got a gnarly drive shaft vibration, and
is there stuff that you would do that would make it not like that?
Yeah, there's stuff to fix on it, but time and money.
Yeah,
it works. So like, why fix it until it breaks? So this
is
my play car. I've got too many other projects that require time and money. This one
as far as other projects, what do you mean?
So I've got a diesel drag truck. That's really fun.
That one's
super cool.
He did not have that available today because it's in a trailer.
Broken. Yeah. It's been a rough month around here, okay? Everything of mine is broken.
Do you have a drivable daily?
That is also... No, that one still runs. The daily does run. Very rough. It misses and doesn't like to start when it's cold. And then I have my tow rig of a truck, which is beautiful. Needs absolutely nothing. But I don't drive it because I don't want to break it. So the truck is great. The daily driver needs some love that it's never going to get. And then the other two major projects.
Now, back to your race truck.
Yes.
That's a pretty hot topic because that's pretty expensive.
Finally started coming around, and then we blew it up. But
and just for those that are watching that might not know, What is your race truck?
Yeah, so the race truck is a 1970 GMC K15. At least the body is, and it's pretty much a tube chassis truck at this point. The body sits on top of what's left of an '03 Duramax chassis with an LB7 Duramax power plant in it, and that was actually my very first truck. The Duramax was, and cut that thing up, put the '70s body on it, turn it into a full-blown race truck.
And where was the '70 truck from? Story behind that?
Yeah, so that truck was actually purchased brand new by my great uncle. Been in the family since new. It had gone through a couple of wrecks. The last one with a drunk driver that actually worked for the sheriff's office. Crazy. And after that wreck, we retired it. And I was like, you know what? This thing has seen some things. It's time for a new, fresh start. And so I just went to town, started building a race truck.
How's the family feel about your truck?
You know, I thought they were going to be a little sad at first, but they were actually extremely happy to see it kind of turned into something fresh and new. You know, it's like I said, been in a truck since new. There's a lot of sentimental value with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, even my great uncle's sister, my grandma, technically, yes. Is that how that works?
I don't know right now.
Okay. Anyways, for my grandma, you know, it was her brother's truck, and even she's excited to see it, and she loves seeing it out on the track and me enjoying it. So that right there really made it worth it for me.
Absolutely.
You know, I was kind of curious how they were gonna take that with
it. It went. There was a lot that you did to it, and a lot that got removed and added really, really well. By the way, like you did an incredible job on all of.
It really has played out very well with the reaction from them, and especially just everybody in the racing community and stuff.
Yeah.
It's, I think, a very unique build.
Absolutely.
Especially in the diesel world, there's not another one really like it. So that's really cool, and it definitely has garnished a lot of attention. And
I mean, last year I was at PRI.
2 years ago. 2 years ago now. Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it making a return anytime soon?
I'm not sure. There was talks about it this year, but I don't think we're going to do it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if the opportunity's there, I'd love to have it back out. Now that it's better, I know that in one of the articles, it was referred to as a race truck nonetheless, even though not as pretty as the others that it was next to or something along the lines. So now that it is in much better looking shape, I would love to have it back.
Yeah.
And kind of see what the reaction is there.
When you first started working on that and driving it, right? What was your intended? What were you hoping to get out of it?
Okay, so this is where the story gets wild. It's changed directions so much.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. Where did you start with it?
Okay, I had a spare fender for this '70 GMC truck, and I had a wheel that I had just was using for rollers for other projects. I pulled the wheel off, set the fender over, and I was like, man, that would look so sick. Like this big 8-lug wheel in this fender of the '70 GMC. I was like, this would be awesome. And that's really where it started. And then just kind of kicking around the idea with my dad about the truck. And I wanted to build something. I ran my diesel shop at the time, so I wanted something for advertisement. So all the pieces kind of just fell into place. And originally, I was just going to do like a cab over frame deal, a fun little street show truck kind of thing, just to promote the business as advertisement. Then I keep getting it deeper and deeper in it, and next thing I know, I'm cutting the truck in half and building a tubular back half, and then after that, it's getting a built motor, and it was supposed to get compound turbos and make like 700 horsepower, but then it's like, here's a built motor and a big single turbo and a ton of nitrous, and really, it was a truck that was meant to be driven every weekend, and it has now turned into a truck that just annihilates a drag strip. And that's really all it does. But we did 6 week with it, which was cool. So we still drive it a little bit, but it definitely spiraled from my original intent.
Yeah.
And I'm not really mad about it, but I do want to build another one back with the original goal.
I feel like that's just the way that it goes. Is like, this one's just going to be a driver, and then it turns into a race car, and then you need another one, and then you need another.
Right. And the sad part is it never even was a driver. It was just during the build process, just kept spiraling and spiraling. So I never even got to drive it as a fun, simple truck. It just turned into a race truck, which I'm not mad about. It's still awesome. It's still a lot of fun, but you know, hindsight's always 20/20. I definitely want another one because it's such a unique vehicle. I want to be able to drive it down the street and just have fun with it and worry about it breaking.
What's your official PB in it?
So far, it's been a 5:39 in the 8th mile at 1:32, somewhere right in there. And it's got an 8:47 at 1:54 in the quarter mile.
Okay.
So it was definitely built to be an 8th mile drag truck, not quarter mile stuff. The diesels just don't have enough gearing and RPM to run them out like that. At least on my budget, they don't. So yeah, quarter mile or 8th mile truck, that is officially the fastest. Pretty much the first outing with the truck after we got it running, it accomplished everything I had initially built the truck to do. So it kind of just took me by surprise that it so easily went out and did what I wanted. So now it's just been kind of diving deeper and burying it a little further. Very, very end goal for the truck is a very low 5-second 8th mile pass, or maybe even a high 4, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to do it with the current setup on that truck. So, but nonetheless, been extremely happy with it. Relatively problem-free for the combo that we run, kind of unproven. So that was a step in the unknown, but it's worked out pretty well. So
how did you get into like diesels to begin with? Because I feel like you kind of gear that way.
Yeah, so the diesel stuff came about, I was 15 and my dad owned a brand new 2009, to date myself there, a 2009 diesel pickup, GMC. And just having that thing around, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I want to get a diesel, being a kid, that was the thing to do. So I got my first truck, which was the 03 that the race truck's built on, at 15, and I couldn't afford to pay somebody to fix it. So I was raised in a family that was very much do-it-yourselfers. So my dad was a wrench. He kind of lent me a hand. We started diving into it, bought it cheap with a bunch of problems, started fixing them, and just kind of took to it. It was it just came naturally, and kind of dove into that side of it very hard for a lot of years. And did the diesel stuff, opened the diesel business from that, and had a lot of fun with it. So
because originally it started Colorado, and then that's when you kind of moved Florida, boosted, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Did the business for 5-ish years, and then I'm not a huge people person, so I was like, this is kind of getting annoying. I want to try something else, and all the cards fell into place.
What do you mean? You love people?
I am just such a people person. I love being around them.
I can tell.
Yes. So that's kind of where we're at now. It's been good. It's been 4 years down here now. Not in love with Florida. It's a little hot for me, but definitely an experience, and it's been good. So just trying to roll with the flow and enjoy life.
That's pretty cool.
So
what is your favorite aspect in the Corolla that we're in?
Oh Lord, that's a good one. I think the biggest thing is it's very fitting of Florida. So this car gets a lot.
Hold on. Let's explain that term just a little bit.
Okay. Like, it fits the vibe check. It's like, I wanted a kind of a Puerto Rican style car. Okay. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans, Cubans kind of stuff. The culture down here around them is racing awesome. The racing side of rotaries and imports down here is crazy. So for me, it was that. I kind of wanted a slice of that. And like I said, the Corolla came around by chance, but all the pieces fell into place. It totally fits that aspect. Love it. It gets tons of attention anywhere you go down here. And I think that's the part I like about it most, is people see this car and they're like, you couldn't give these things away back in the day, but now you see one, especially with a turbo 2 rotor in it, and just the people love it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing for me, is I like building creations that people like, and
Not that you don't have a lot on your plate already with it, but what would you like to build? Ideal world, zero budget.
Zero budget to build anything, huh?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. If I had zero budget, I'd just buy a Pagani or something. But if I had to build something, I've been kicking around the idea. Whitt built of it. I'm thinking of building like a 40s or 50s Chevy truck, 2-wheel drive, like drag truck kind of deal, drag and drive kind of thing.
Would you go diesel again or no?
I'm up in the air. So like, this is a build I'm actually kind of planning. Budget is in question, but if no budget, that's definitely what I would do. Just kind of figuring out what way to go on that, but it's definitely something I've wanted to do. I've always loved the big bubble fenders and the old school design aspects and whatnot of those trucks, and I think now that I've built one, I got to kind of stick with the truck thing.
Yeah.
You know, kind of different. Everybody builds cars and these Mustangs to go drag racing and stuff. I kind of want to be different.
I can see that.
So
where do you think you'd engine-wise with that?
That's where I'm up in the air. Okay. No budget. It would probably just be like a billet Cummins thing, made 3,000 horsepower and just be nuts.
What about gasoline?
I'd just buy a Pro Line and put in it and be done. Go stupid fast. But yeah, that's big budget stuff there. But yeah, I mean, no budget, either one of those would totally do it for me.
Yeah.
So diesel or gas, anything that's fast.
Do you like wrenching on cars?
Do wrenching on them?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Unlimited budget, I'd just pay somebody to do it. That'd be great. Kick back here, do it how I want it. This is perfect.
Yeah.
But I do find a lot of peace in working in them. You know, quiet night in the garage, just wrenching on a project, nothing better than that. So it's a love and a hate. If I was building just like a top tier drag car, I'd pay somebody if I had the budget. But something like this, I love tinkering on these cars. Like the truck, you know, I've learned a ton of stuff. That was another part of building the truck, really, was just to learn a bunch of new skills.
What's one thing that you've learned from the truck that you maybe weren't expecting?
I don't know if I learned anything I wasn't expecting, because I kind of went into it with I want to learn all of this stuff.
Okay, so then what's that?
The thing that I really dove into with that was like wiring stuff. Oh. So I've always been proficient in wiring, but I wanted like true motorsport level harness and you know, electronics and whatever to go along with that. So the truck was definitely a big step on that. Because I built the entire wiring harness myself, and there's nothing more satisfying than plugging it in and then just everything
having it work.
Yeah. So that was a big one for me, is learning that side of stuff. I had a pretty good handle on welding and fab and all that stuff already. So the wiring was definitely a big side, and then like software calibration stuff. So that runs an aftermarket Bosch ECU and PMU, and you have to configure all of that stuff. You can't just buy it and load a base map and be done. Yeah. So I really wanted to learn that side of stuff and kind of understand it better. It's always something that's kind of intrigued me. I'm not a huge nerd, but that side of stuff really does it for me.
What intrigues you about the wiring just stuff?
I don't know what it is. I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess.
Because that seems like always the one thing that people pull away from.
They're they hate it. Yeah. I think it's just that kind of niche thing. It's just like, I want to walk up and be like, yeah, I wired that. Look how clean it is. Like, it's crazy.
So you like the idea of it being like nice and clean, not stuff just spliced together and just.
My OCD, so that's a big thing, I guess, is my OCD loves a tidy, nice wiring harness and everything. So that was the biggest thing. I've just been around too many cars that you just got bare wires thrown everywhere, laid across stuff. And I'm just like, I cannot do this. My OCD is going mad. So
do you think you would like to do more of the harness stuff?
Yes and no.
For other people, or just more yourself?
Yeah, so that stuff I have dabbled in a little bit, is doing customer side of stuff. I've actually got a project coming in 2 weeks to do a harness on. So stuff that I do like doing it. I don't know if I'd ever get to a level where it would just be like full 100%. Production doing that.
Yeah.
But definitely stuff I enjoy doing on the side.
Enough of a side hobby for now that it brings...
pay the bills, a little extra money here and there, and, you know, kind of start building a name on that side of stuff. There's a couple of avenues I want to start venturing into, and that's one of them. So kind of diversify my income a little bit.
Do you like doing anything besides cars?
No.
No?
No, that's my problem. I devote so much of my time to the automotive world.
Yeah.
I don't do anything else. So I like traveling. I like going places. I just don't make enough time to do it. So
what place have you enjoyed traveling to the most?
Well, the problem is I don't take enough time to enjoy the journey.
Right.
I do go a lot of places with work and stuff. So I don't know. It's hard to say. We don't have a lot of time to like go and actually enjoy the place. It's just like you're at one venue for that day, but I want to get out and travel more and just take more time to explore areas.
Toss me a place.
Toss you a place? I don't know. That's hard to say. I haven't put forethought into this. You got me on the spot here.
That's a point.
That's not a good point. I don't like this. I don't know what to do with my hands. Help me.
Like for me, I think like Indianapolis was one of those unexpected places that I didn't think I was gonna fully like. And I really enjoyed like Indy.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't mind Indy. I like the weather there a lot better. That's for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, got a lot of friends there, so it's always cool catching up with them and kind of hanging out. But yeah.
Is there an event or like a place that you'd like to go with that you haven't yet?
Yes, it's up in Michigan. It's the uphill drags for like semi tractor trailer
Oh my
stuff.
gosh, yes, that looks
Yes,
so
I want to
cool.
go there so bad. I also want to go to any event at Yellow Belly. I really want to go check out that track. Super awesome. The Alaska car launch thing. I want to go check that out.
Yes.
Super cool. I also want to travel Alaska. I think that'd be dope. Go check that out a bit. So
absolutely.
Yeah, there are some places I have in mind. I just,
okay.
I don't take enough time out of the day to sit down and be like, oh, I should check this place out.
You're not dreaming enough?
I guess not. I have an imagination for building cars. That's about it. I need to get out there and explore some other things.
Well, I mean, everything looks really good. So
well, I thank you.
Doing well on that aspect
right.
of it.
Yeah, and that's my thing. I take a lot of pride in the stuff I do, so it's always rewarding to kind of see appreciation from other people about it. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think that's my big reward for doing this stuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So
how did you come up with Whitt Built?
That's a great question. I don't really know. It just
really?
kind of came to me. Yeah. It started out as Sketchy DA because I had a...
Wait, what?
It started out as Sketchy DA. That was...
What's DA?
It was a platform code for the first gen Integra. And my first gen Integra was extremely sketchy. So it was like Sketchy DA. And then I got rid of that card and I was like, or car, and I was like, this ain't very fitting anymore. I need to figure out something else. And the Whitt Built thing just kind of came to be, Yeah. And then the Whitt name, that was just kind of a nickname.
I mean, that just kind of flows.
Yeah. So it works. And that was just a nickname I got back in high school. So kind of came together. I think it's catchy enough. And, I kind of went into it with being able to build a business around it someday. Or at least for now, it's kind of a social media thing, but it's something you could roll into manufacturing or wiring or something. And
how do you feel about social media?
It's a love-hate. It's a very big love-hate for me.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Because I feel like you're in that light a lot. So there's...
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, it's a two-way street for me with social media.
Because you don't like people.
Exactly. Okay, I shouldn't say I don't like people.
I know.
There's nothing I like more than meeting the fans and seeing different walks of life and their culture and stuff like that. But I hate sitting with people and like pointless small talk things and like...
Okay.
So like for me, it's like if you have a cool story to tell or like I want to learn more about where you're from, like I love that side of it.
Just a small talk.
Yeah, but it's like
people you don't fully know.
The thing that kind of gets me is like it's really cool because people think they know me, but they really don't. So then you kind of make small talk like them, and as for me, it's kind of like I don't really want to entertain this. So that's like my gripe with the social media kind of stuff. Because it's just a highlight reel, Yeah. It's not really the reality.
I mean, what do you think you would be able to do to make that feel more authentic?
I don't know, because like, for me, I don't want my whole life on the internet. I want to live in reality. And so I think the way to address that would be more transparent online, but like I always tell everybody, I'd rather be a silent millionaire than a public millionaire. So I think for me, I enjoy my personal life and my personal space. So it's hard to find that fine line between social media and being as transparent as you can.
Just it's not everybody's business all the time.
Yeah. It's like I said, I love meeting everybody and all that stuff, but I do
finding that line between like
privacy,
pre-internet-ish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a hard line to find. I think with where I'm at right now, it's been great. Like I said, I love it. But moving forward, I don't know if I'd ever want to be like a huge public figure,
So are you going to continue more with your side of YouTube, or is that still just more debatable at the moment?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
It's something I haven't really put a ton of thought into. Again, my love-hate with social media. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. It's definitely an option. It's something I do enjoy doing.
Yeah.
But there's other things I enjoy more, I guess.
Such as?
Working on cars by myself.
Without filming it.
Without filming it. So yeah, it's like I said, the love-hate is more so I love meeting the fans, but then finding that line of where too much is too much.
Right.
So that's the dilemma I'm in, I guess.
Would you ever do a burnout car? I feel like that would be a hard one for you because I think that there's so many people that put so much into it that it has a high possibility of getting destroyed that I feel like would be hard for you to cope with.
Yeah, that's my problem is I put way too much time and energy into the little details that like I would get a scuff on the fender and be absolutely furious. So I think for me, I could do a burnout car if I really went into it with the intent of like, this thing is going to get destroyed. Just do the bare minimum. But
I don't think that's in your
I
personality.
don't know how. No, my OCD won't allow it. So that's the hard thing too. Like with where I'm at right now is like the social media side of stuff as well. You have to get things done so quick to stay relevant in social media, and I think that's the other part that kind of hinders it because I like to take my time, make sure everything's flawless, and then you can't do that on stuff like the burnout car, social media kind of stuff. Like
I kind of feel that. I think that there is still a space in social that should allow for not as quick.
Right.
And I think that you get it all the time. That I think there's a space for the slowness.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there is somewhere if you
created
it maybe. But that's the other gripe with social media is it takes our timeline of new to like 10 minutes. Like everything is so quick in the news cycle and stuff. So to stay relevant, you have to be quick. Mm-hmm. So I think it's hard to find that niche of being able to take your time to do a great end product and stay relevant on a big scale.
What do you think is one of your biggest takeaways about being part of Boosted Boys and seeing that as just understanding how quick that turnaround is? Or
yeah, kind of seeing both sides of it has been really cool. So like I said, I stay very private and like kind of to myself, and then being able to see the big picture and how social media can change so many things, and the ins and outs of it are really cool and interesting. And I'm happy where I'm at, being not the face of it.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I always thought like, I want to be famous. I want to see it. And then when you kind of get there, you're like, you know what? I'm kind of like glad I'm not some days, Is
there anybody that inspired you like when you were younger?
Really my dad. He just wrenched on stuff a lot. And I just always thought that was super cool. And, I wanted to be very self-sufficient like that, really. And, my great uncle, the one whose truck, he was great as well. He'd always just be very easygoing and show me how to do things, and was a rancher all his life. Spent a lot of summers working there and taught me a lot of good skills about wrenching and work ethic and just all that good stuff. So I really look up to everybody in my family. Really, they've all been probably my biggest influences. I've never really looked at outside as like big inspirations. It's kind of weird, I've never had like this figure.
That person that you were
like meet. I want to be them or do what they do. I've never really had that, so kind of different, I guess.
That's a good one though.
Yeah,
it feels like they instilled a lot of good core values on life and work ethic, and that's portrayed through everything you do. So
yeah, definitely. Cool. So yeah, they've definitely had a big hand in shaping who I am today and what I do and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I don't know. They always say like never meet your heroes and stuff. So I guess I've never
been let down.
Never held them to a standard like that, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, different, I guess.
No, that's a great one, and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
So nobody that has ever shook you from meeting them?
Not really shook. I mean, I'm still like starstruck at some of the people we get to meet. Like just in the social media side of stuff, it definitely opens you up to a different audience and being able to meet certain people. So, meeting like the Motor Trend guys and, being able to meet Garrett and stuff, like that's all really cool. And that's definitely like one of them kind of starstruck moments, and it's like cool to meet them. But yeah, I never really had like a hero, and I'm just like, I have to meet you. And like, so
I really, there's really not anybody that I fully looked up to. So I understand that.
Yeah. It's hard to, I guess I try to live my life in a way that like, I want to look up to myself doing better instead of looking at somebody else and wishing I was that.
Yeah.
So I've just never been like that, I guess.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I do have to ask.
Oh no.
What do you mean? Oh no.
I don't know.
You jerk face. So like when you happen to go to a Reilly, right?
Mm-hmm. Right up the street.
Right up the street.
Favorite auto parts store.
I mean, it doesn't have to
be. No, it is. That's where we shop. 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
That's besides brake cleaner.
Nothing. Brake cleaner all the days.
What's your favorite thing that you go there for, or that you go there consistently for?
Brake cleaner.
Brake cleaner, that's all.
100%, yeah. Cases at a time.
You're like, yeah, this is on mine.
Yeah, with as many oil downs as we have in the shop with Honda things.
Dude, I have to say, because I've seen it for a while, but like, you guys keep your shop super nice. Like, all of your spaces are very clean. Like, that's a nice, refreshing thing to see.
I take a lot of pride in that.
Well, good job.
I love a clean shop. I can't work in dirty shops. Yeah.
Like,
tools where they belong. Everything has its home. OCD going mad. You know the deal.
Yeah.
So a clean shop is a productive shop. I try to keep it very, very organized. So yeah, it's big thanks to brake cleaner.
That's all that he ever gets is brake cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we get parts there, and they're always helpful. They have a lot of stuff in stock.
Do you have a dude that you talk to a lot?
Yeah, Garrett.
Shout out, Garrett.
Garrett, you're the man.
Awesome. So I actually have to run and get onto a plane here pretty soon. So I'm going to wrap this up with you.
Sounds good.
Thank you all for watching at home. Be sure to tune in next time and to see whoever might be on here, because you never know, on this CarCast presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. And I will see you later. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.